Hey guys, in this video we're going to talk about Priscilla Presley being banned from Graceland, Justin Bieber ignoring Hailey, and the Angela Basset Oscars backlash that's going on right now. First up, it looks like family tensions within the Presleys have reached an all-time high. It's been reported that Priscilla has been banned from Graceland, at least temporarily, since her granddaughter Riley Keough changed the locks during a trip to Memphis. A spokesperson from the estate then came forward and denied this. But if it is true, why would Riley do something like this, and what gives her the right? Well, in 2016, Lisa Marie Presley amended her will, and she named her two eldest children, Riley and Benjamin, as co-executors. Sadly, when Benjamin took his own life in 2020, Riley became the sole executor of their mother's estate, which includes the 17,552 square foot Graceland mansion and a 15% stake in Elvis Presley Enterprises. Well, that sounds fair enough, but things became extremely messy when Lisa Marie passed away. Just 4 days after her daughter's death, Priscilla asked a judge to invalidate the 2016 amendment that kicked her out of the trust and placed Riley in charge. She claimed that Lisa Marie's signature was forged because her name was misspelled and the signature is different from her usual one. She also claimed that the document was never shown to her, which is something that was required by the express terms of the trust. Not only that, but Priscilla insisted that it was never witnessed or notarized, and that the date on it is actually suspicious. So she's really pulling out all the stops to try and get the amendment invalidated, not just because it makes her granddaughter the sole trustee, but also because it cuts her out of any claim to Elvis's estate entirely. After Lisa Marie's death, the family rift became worse than ever. According to multiple sources, the two of them are barely speaking to each other, which is unsurprising. I mean, this legal battle that's going on between them would not exactly make the best dinner conversation. Put it plainly, Priscilla wants a piece of the pie and Riley is not having it. She was apparently shocked that her grandmother would even contest the amendment in the first place. To make matters worse, Priscilla allowed Lisa Marie's ex-husband Michael Lockwood to attend the memorial, which shocked the rest of the family. A close friend of Lisa Marie's then spoke out about the decision. They said, "Michael was not invited. He came to Memphis under the pretense that he had to chaperone the twins, and he forced his way in with Priscilla's help. The last thing Lisa Marie would have wanted was for Michael to be there." The former couple had one of the most toxic breakups in Hollywood, and they were publicly battling for custody over Finley and Harper since filing for divorce in 2016. During the proceedings, Lisa Marie claimed that she was $16 million in debt, with most of that stemming from unpaid taxes. Michael eventually asked her to pay him $263,000 a year so that he could enjoy a lifestyle that is closer to his marital status of living. He also wanted $40,000 a month in child support. They did have a prenup in place, but he later claimed that he was badly advised by his lawyers. The case was initially settled in 2018 in her favor, but then in 2021 he went back to court demanding more child support. Things in the family went from bad to worse when Priscilla took his side in the custody battle, which is why in the days before her tragic death, Lisa Marie was barely on speaking terms with her mother. That caused a lot of resentment to build up, and the tension trickled down to Riley as well. An inside source said, "Riley was always on her mum's side when it came to Michael. It bothered her that her grandmother and Michael flew to the funeral together. Apparently she's also become very protective of her 14-year-old twin sisters, and she wants to make sure that they're well cared for." Although she has been very quiet about the family rift, Priscilla has outright denied there is anything going on. In a statement to the Times, she said, "I loved Elvis very much and he loved me. Lisa is a result of our love. For anyone to think anything differently would be a travesty of the family legacy and would be disrespectful of what Elvis left behind in his life. Please allow us the time we need to work together and sort this out. Please ignore the noise." So clearly she wants to keep news of this legal battle relatively quiet, even if she does want Riley out as sole trustee. Now, just when you thought it was over, there's been even more Hailey Bieber drama. She was posing in front of the cameras at the Vanity Fair party, which usually takes place after the Oscars, but this year Justin decided not to pose with her. While Hailey was walking the red carpet by herself, he was nowhere to be found. Instead, he was photographed inside the party, looking a little disheveled but very comfortable. Justin was wearing a backwards baseball cap with a colorful blanket draped over his shoulders. It's possible that he couldn't be bothered with the red carpet attire and wanted to go straight to the party. After all, he was wearing a literal blanket, but in the middle of this messy internet feud, that was probably not the best idea. It really makes it look like he might be trying to distance himself from his wife, all because of the drama involving Selena Gomez. Although to be fair, he did later post a photo of the two of them from inside the party on his Instagram. Justin finally showed public support for his wife, even if it was weeks after the feud first started. In another Instagram post, he shared photos from what looked like a romantic beach getaway. It's not super clear where the pics were taken, but the couple did go to Hawaii last month. The two of them were seen cuddling while napping in the sun in the corner of a boat. In one photo, Justin is grinning while Hailey leans into his chest. In the caption, he wrote, "Love you, baby," and in the comments, she posted the emoji of two hands forming a heart. While a lot of the comments seemed happy that he was finally posting about his wife, most of them were predictably negative. I mean, people were really picking everything apart. Someone pointed to the fact that he used the word love spelled L-U-V and not the normal way, which might be a sign that it was actually Hailey who posted it. The theory is that only women would spell the word love like that, and this seems to be the most popular theory, because people started writing things like, "Hailey, please give Justin his phone back." Other people insisted that he was forced to make the post, and they wrote things like, "Blink if you need help." In fact, if you just take a look at Justin's entire Instagram, on every single photo that features Hailey, there are hate comments that follow. At this point, no matter who you support, you just have to laugh at how much fans are reading into things. Although there is one viral clip that's been going around recently, which actually shows them getting fed up with each other, and it's pretty awkward to watch. While doing a Facebook Live, Justin and Hailey were sitting on the couch answering questions about his Lyme disease diagnosis. At one point, they get asked whether or not he is scared, and even though the question was clearly directed at Justin, Hailey decides to answer instead. Midway through her response, he cuts her off and says, "She was asking me." What follows is a long silence, which eventually breaks into an awkward laugh. He then says, "They're asking me because it's my Lyme disease, it's not your Lyme disease." In response, Hailey says that she's the one who's been going to all his doctor's appointments with him, but Justin then cuts her off again and says, "Listen here, woman," which was probably the worst thing he could have possibly said. After that, they decide to end the live stream, but not before Hailey makes a sarcastic comment about his attitude. Another video that resurfaced recently was from 2020, when Justin sat down with Demi Lovato on the Ellen DeGeneres show. He talked about how he met his wife and said, "I think because she was raised Christian and they found out that, I think it was an arranged marriage. I'm pretty sure." He explains that since Hailey was raised Christian, her dad Stephen Baldwin decided to introduce them because he thought that they would share similar values. As he's telling the story, Justin then said, "It was definitely an arranged marriage now that I'm thinking about it." Even though he was clearly joking, some fans decided that he was being completely serious. From that point came the theory that their whole marriage was a setup, and Justin was tricked into marrying Hailey, all because she was a super fan with good connections. Now, if you think that this seems like a massive reach, you would be right, but it does make his fans feel a lot better if they believed he was forced to marry her. If anything, that just goes to show you how deep the Hailey Bieber resentment actually goes. It's kind of like going down a rabbit hole at this point. And now, for those of you that watch the Oscars, there's a bit of controversy surrounding Angela Basset, who went viral for refusing to hide her disappointed reaction when she lost to Jamie Lee Curtis. The two women were both nominated for Best Supporting Actress that night. Jamie Lee won the award for her performance in Everything Everywhere All at Once. She looked totally shocked when her name was announced, and she gave a heartwarming speech on stage. But as the crowd erupted into applause, the cameras picked up Angela's reaction, and it was more than obvious that she was devastated about missing out. She remained sitting down and didn't immediately clap or even smile. That moment has since garnered widespread attention online and reopened up the conversation about the lack of diversity at the Academy Awards. First of all, there's a reason fans were rooting for Angela to win. She was nominated for her role as Queen Ramonda in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. She played the grieving mother of the Marvel hero T'Challa, which was even more difficult for her given that she was grieving the real-life death of her co-star Chadwick Boseman. There's a lot of layers to that, but she was somehow able to perfectly channel all that raw emotion into her performance. Apart from that, Angela made history when she became the first actor from the MCU to win a Golden Globe for her performance in the film. That's just how good it was. If you didn't know, award ceremonies don't usually let Marvel movies slip in with other films because they're just not regarded in the same way. The Oscars are no different. So it's not surprising that no actor has ever been nominated for their role in a Marvel film before. That's why it was such an achievement for Angela Basset to be up for Best Supporting Actress. For this reason, many people argued that her visible disappointment at losing was totally justified. Now, the internet seems to be a little divided over her reaction. Some people said that she came off as straight up rude and should have shown some more grace even in the face of losing. In response to the backlash, they argued that a superhero movie was never actually going to win an Oscar anyway, but most of the internet was clearly rooting for her, and so they rallied behind her in support. One user wrote, "The Academy is so nasty. Like, first y'all robbed Chadwick Boseman after his death, and then you robbed Angela Basset of her Oscar that she was nominated for in a movie that honors Chadwick. Every member of the Academy got a permanent spot in hell." Another person wrote, "Angela Basset played a grieving mother. Stephanie Sue played a queer multi-dimensional daughter, and I still don't know what the F Jamie did in Everything Everywhere." Another user tweeted, "Miss Bassett's performance physically shook me in the theater. She may not have won the trophy, but she has the crown." crown. While people are still arguing about the moment, it's worth noting that another one of the nominees, Kerry Condon, actually had a similar reaction, but she didn't receive the same heap of backlash, which definitely says a lot. As for the lack of diversity at the Oscars, it's something that even Jimmy Kimmel pointed out during his opening monologue. He said, "How does the Academy not nominate the guy who directed Avatar? What do they think he is, a woman?" That was pretty funny, but it just goes to show you that literally everyone is talking about this issue now. There's no denying that historically, women and people of color have been consistently overlooked for major awards. Although the Oscars has definitely made progress with things like representation in recent years, there's still a long way to go when it comes to change in the industry, and that's part of the reason fans were so outraged by this Angela Basset story. So do you think her reaction was valid, or should she have at least showed a little more enthusiasm when losing to Jamie Lee Curtis? Please let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. But things in the family went from